The date, May 2nd to 5th. The place, West Palm Beach, Florida. The event, Top Gun 1991. 68 of the best scale modelers from as far away as Britain and France and all over the USA converge on Palm Beach Polo in West Palm Beach for 4 days of heavy competition. The end result? Who will walk away with the Top Gun trophy? Top Gun is the brainchild of Frank Tiano, whose idea was to bring the best scale competitors from all over the world together at one place for a major contest. In 3 short years, he has turned the Top Gun into one of the premier scale events in this country. Competing is by invitation only. The contest has 4 days of heavy competition. The first 2 days are for static judging, and the final 2 days are heavy flying. We will take you through the judging, interviews with the pilots, and flying. So let's get on with the tape and see who the winners are. Well, we're here with Nick Zeroli and Bill Steffes. Nick's an old face in RC modeling. I see you've got your latest entered in team scale.
Yes. Well, Bill built this plane. This is one of my newest plans, the Beech D18. It's 1/5 scale. And we did well last year with my B25, so Bill and I teamed up again, and Bill did all the work, all the hard work, and built this beautiful Beech, and we're here in team scale again.
Well, let's get Bill to tell us a little bit about the workmanship in this airplane.
Well, it's like Nick said, his designs are superb, and the plane just fell together. I started it last August. It took about 4 months to complete the plane as far as the major framework and all the flying surfaces and everything else, and then the rest of the time was spent finishing it off and detailing it. It was about a month and a half work of detail on it. There's anywhere from 15 to 20,000 rivets on there, all hand-laid. It's all RC56 white glue used with a hypodermic needle to lay the rivets on.
One at a time?
One at a time, one side at a time, 'cause you gotta let that glue dry. I really enjoyed building it, I really did. It's a nice airplane.
Well, it's certainly immaculate. It's well designed and well done. Can you tell us a bit about the flying characteristics of the airplane?
Well, Nick has flown. I think he can tell you more about that than I can.
I mean, you were telling me yesterday about a little story about your taxi test.
Which?
On your first flight. How Bill didn't want you to fly it, but you took off anyway.
No, that was that this or the B25?
No, it was mine.
It was. It was. Yes.
Twice.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's
we did it
just
with
taxi.
both. Let's just taxi. Well, it felt so good taxiing. Hey, go for it. But we have 2 of them flying. I have one completed that I'm flying, and we have this one, and they fly very, very well. I don't think there'll be any problem flying here. There's a beautiful field, as you can see. This is really a nice setup. And it's 2 Quadra 35s in this. Weighs about 33, 34 pounds, and it's got plenty of wing. It just flies. It flies good.
What are we using for radio?
Futaba. It's UAP 7-channel Futaba.
How many servos?
11.
11 servos.
Yep.
It's got retracts. Robart makes retracts specifically for this plane. It's very scale. It's got flaps, and it will have smoke. The real plane, the real one of this model, has smoke on both engines, and it does acrobatics with it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
So as far as the plans are concerned, what comes with the plans, or what do you have available for this airplane?
All right, well, I have the plans. There's 5 sheets of plans. I have fiberglass cowls. I have a vacuum-formed cockpit area, the whole cockpit section vacuum-formed, a vacuum-formed nose cone, a vacuum-formed tail cone, and the side windows vacuum-formed, so you can put them in from the inside. Just cut a hole and glue them in from the inside. There's a flange on them that makes that a little easier.
And all this is available through Nick Zeroli-Moly.
Nick Zeroli, plans, yes.
Well, good luck, gentlemen, and hope you do well in the event.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
And we'll catch you while you're flying.
I hope so.
When are you up for static?
In about an hour.
Well, the judges will certainly have a difficult time with this one.
I hope not. I hope they do right on. But it is. Like I say, it's the first model I've ever done. Okay, where I've taken the actual 3 views and the drawings and put all my markings on, and they felt exactly perfect as far as the panel lines, the rivets, the dead nuts right on.
And you even went as far as the detailed door and...
Yep. Yeah, it's...
I used the Paul Matt drawings, the Aero... Historical Aviation series, and they're really pretty good drawings. Paul Matt did a nice job on drawings.
Well, this should certainly send the judges into an awe.
Yes, I hope so.
That's right, Sam. As a matter of fact, the wind is very tricky for the pilots today. Instead of having the wind coming nicely from right to left or left to right, they have got to contend with the wind that is far side of the field. One can handle these things. Nevertheless, it craft has a lot of presence in the air. Notice on the left to right flyby against the clouds, how realistic. Very hard to distinguish this from a model, looking at it from this vantage point to the real aircraft. And talking to Bill Stebbins, the builder, last night, and he has plans to finish the interior, put the seats in, including the restroom, all done with a hypodermic needle and using the ZAP CA adhesive that we use. 20,000 rivets. Hey there, David Toyer, fixing up your Hurricane. Give us a wave up here. Says yes, it was It's such a beautiful sound. Running to absolute perfect synchronization with each other. Joke on the D-18, and I've had a few flights in the D-18, there's a number of things that you can do wrong in this aircraft. One of them is to take off without locking the tail wheel, which results in some gyrations on the runway. And another one is dropping down his gear, has a lot of presence in the air. Gear down over the threshold, one engine off. And beautiful. Next to relay, control. Flying this weekend, team scale. Curtis Janney. This is a team entry from Jeff Holmes and Kevin Foster, the team of Jeff Holmes and Janney, and Later on, you're going to see a Newport 28, and you'll also see a Fokker triplane, made famous by the Red Baron himself. Later on, you'll also see an SR-71, an F-18, and many aircraft from all of the years in between those widely disparate times. What we have here in front of you is really a very good sampling. You know, I might add, David, a lot of the pilots, this is their first experience flying a contest off of a field such as this, off this grass field most often. They're used to flying off of asphalt. 6 periods, 7.5 periods that it takes to play a game of polo. And by the way, we want to dispel the rumor that there's a $1,000 bounty on the signboard. That is a rumor. From time to time during the day, we are going to throw out some more of these trivia-type questions.
Kip, Ron was the 1990 Top Gun winner with that plane, and he's here competing and trying to hold his title with that aircraft.
Messerschmitt, Dennis Deweese right here from Florida. Pilot on the school lot. And Hamilton Lake. And of course the 4 banners in the tree, the 4 yellow banners, were awarded to that tree for reaching up and grabbing airplanes in the last 2 days. And of course, we don't want to add any more banners to that tree.
Ron Gilman starting his taxi run with the S-86.
Putting a practice flight on. Could you?
Here's Mark Frankel's Lear being judged by the judges.
I think today would be a good time to do some filming because while people are less broad.
The team of Mark Frankel and Dennis Crooks carrying the Lear out to the line.
No, that's it. I'm interested by
Well, we're here with Mark Frankel, and Mark is entered here in Top Gun and Team Scale. What do we have here, Mark?
This is my 1/6 scale model of Learjet 35. This particular aircraft that this model is painted to represent was stationed in Dallas, Texas in the mid-1980s. The registration of the aircraft was November 666 Romeo Bravo.
Well, you're really known for your Learjets. I understand you did something with Gates with your models.
Yes, I was invited to display this aircraft at their factory during a product symposium they were having last year. It actually got perused by their engineers and their owners and operators, and it seemed to be very impressive to them.
Is this the first major event you've entered this airplane in?
This airplane has been in several contests. This is the first major nationwide scale contest it's been entered in. It's being entered today in team scale. Dennis Crooks is my pilot. He's probably one of the best multi-engine jet pilots in the country.
We all know him from his F-14 fame and his SR-71. I've seen him fly a large Citation, but how does he do with his Lear?
He flies it very well. He's had about 6 flights on it during the past 2 or 3 years. He flies it each year when we meet at Belleville, Canada for the fan fly up there. He's absolutely superb with it, very smooth. He performs with this aircraft just as a full-size Learjet pilot would. Dennis is a very good pilot. That's why I asked him to fly for me.
What do you have in here for power?
This aircraft has 2 Dynamax ducted fans, which are spun by OS-65s. It has a special tuned pipe system, which was fabricated by Wally McAllister of Mac Mufflers. It's a short quarter-wave pipe, which produces a tuned pipe effect within the very short tailpipe length of this aircraft.
Yeah, that's the one thing we noticed. Like most twin rear-engined civilian models, you usually see the pipe sticking out the back.
Yeah, this aircraft puts out plenty of power and achieves virtually the same amount of RPM that a full-size pipe would on this specially produced Mac muffler.
What kind of weight are we talking about here?
This airplane, the last time I officially weighed it, was 28.5 pounds. It's probably grown a little. It's probably closer to 30 pounds right now.
Well, it certainly looks good, I'll tell you that. So virtually she flies very realistic from what I understand.
Yes, it seems that the scale speed is very realistic. It flies at about 110 miles an hour, which gives a good scale appearance. My only concern is that the aircraft has never been flown from grass. It always flies off a hard surface runway, but this grass is so smooth and so closely cropped that I think I shouldn't have any problem here.
Flying personnel and clients around the country. What we were noticing that was the takeoff of the Learjet was the characteristic they look like they're only just flying by the skin of their teeth. But once they get up on the step and get moving and get the drag reduced by pulling up the wheels, they are in fact quite fast, but the pilot has a hard time doing that takeoff. Flyby left to right. Listen to these fans as they spool up.
Je vais y aller avec toi. Vas-y. Je vais remplir le matériel. Similar to your lawnmower engine with a single cylinder and a set of valves, an exhaust and an intake valve. By the way, he built this aircraft from his own plans, and it does feature operating landing lights that retract once they're turned off. He's all the way from Massachusetts with his wife Linda. Flyby with the aerobatic Cap 21. Beautiful paint job on this aircraft. Stall turn. Thanks, Leslie.
just like to mention, those of you that will be attending tomorrow, spectators, the green belt between the bleacher section and the flight line will be left cleared tomorrow. We will not have any spectators there. Plenty of seats, a lot of them under shade, and I might add that these seats are fit for a king. It is actually...
They've been making a little bit of noise with their Sky Raiders. We've got 3 of them here. Can you tell us?
Get Diego in here too. He's got the 3rd airplane.
Oh, Diego, come on over here.
Come on, I ain't gonna hurt you. Come on. You need to get famous for 15 minutes.
He doesn't want to have his son find out he stole his shorts.
I'm famous already.
You're infamous. You're not famous.
Don't make me look tall.
For once you better get. Do you have Diego in there too? Okay, we're here with Gene Barton, Diego Lopez, and Rick Lewis, and they've got something interesting to tell us about these beautiful Sky Raiders. You want to talk about it a bit, Rick, seeing that you did the design?
They all fly very well. That's the important thing. I don't know exactly what you want to hear other than it's about 1/6 scale. All of them are in the 30-35 pound range. They're all powered by Weber Bully engines with our own retract systems.
Well, maybe you and Gene want to talk a bit about how they came about. I hear the 2 of you worked together on designing the airplane.
No, that's incorrect.
What?
Rick designed the airplane from plug through all the molds and the making parts.
And you did the retracts and the...
I have a machine shop, so we got together and in the machine shop made, there are considerably a lot of aluminum parts in this airplane.
Complex parts.
Yeah, and they were all made in my shop. That's how I got in the program with Rick.
And you have...
He did all the miniaturizing off of Douglas drawings, things like that, and put them onto prints that I and with their help could make all the parts that went in it.
I understand the kits are available now.
I'm trying to get them available. I work for an aerospace company, and Desert Storm kind of cut into a lot of stuff for us. I felt that was a little more important than building model airplanes for a while. But I'm back at it now, hoping to finish up the drawings and then start putting them in boxes.
I see. How they've been faring out in the contest circuit?
I'm happy. All 3 of us are doing real well.
Yeah, we've all been placing pretty good at contests, so hopefully this weekend too.
I see. What did you come in the...
The high point of what we've done so far. All of us enjoy, I think, flying the airplane, but in Texas, at the Masters, Irving, Texas, last year we all got to fly together, which I think was the first time all 3 of us were in the air at the same time, and had more fun doing that than any contest we've ever been to, I think. Gene was doing low inverted passes, and Diego was flying underneath him, and I was trying to do other maneuvers at the same time. It was hell-raising.
So we have a wild bunch here as well, a little bit hairy.
You probably see it Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it again on Sunday.
Oh, so we're gonna let everything go loose on Sunday and really put on an air show.
Probably.
Well, that's great.
Give it a try.
Frank said he set aside some time for us.
Well, anyways, good luck, gentlemen, on in the contest.
Thank you very much.
Hope you do well.
Thank you much.
And thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
By the designer manufacturer himself, Rick Lewis. All 3 aircraft manufactured by AccuScale and are available to be built as you see them today with a lot of work, but they are beautiful aircraft. For the second time. All very good contestants, and after every contest, they just flat enjoy taking each other around the sky. and give us high-speed, low pass, left to right, in sequence. First one over the fence, Diego Lopez. Rick Lewis right on his tail, and Gene Barton in trail. Beautiful sight. These guys are working a lot of expensive hardware real close together. We're talking contest airplanes. The two Navy versions. Here we go, in trail. With the gear down. See the tail hook down on the Navy Skyraider. Carrier approach. And also on the Navy version trailing the dark blue warm arrow. The aircraft being used, the second aircraft being used in the Vietnam era, and the lead aircraft, the gray one and the blue one, Navy versions used in the green. To the inverted, and that's the first time at the contest that aircraft has been inverted. And Diego Lopez in the trail. Let them know you like that. All my pieces have been revoked. Here we go over the runway in the downwind portion. Right to left, and we will see a roll. Here we go. Boy, this is the time to have a 35 millimeter. Okay, are you ready for a low pass? Get your cameras ready. Here we go. They're going to be on the deck. Right to left. Is that beautiful? They'll be dropping their gear and their flaps now and setting up for their landing. Button jumped on the box and recall activation. By the way, in real life, the Skyraider was the largest, thus had the reputation of being one nasty airplane. They'll be making their break. Dropping the gear. Okay, first over the threshold, gear down, dialing in 15 to 20 degrees of flaps on the Skyraider. By the way, all three of these aircraft will fold their wings after landing and coming back to the pit area. Diego Lopez, the first in with the Vietnam color scheme, the airport marker. For display, and one gear not locked to D5. Go around. Okay, Rick Lewis with his gear down, cleared to land. And meanwhile, Gene Barton folding the wings on his Skyraider. Rock and roll. SR-71 already nose up. What a sound. Look at this silhouette against the sky. Aren't you glad that airplane's on our side? By the way, no longer used in the active inventory. It's been replaced by the new stealth type of aircraft. Here we come now after the takeoff, left to right for a flyby. And Dennis rock solid on those controls at a beautiful high-speed pass. Now to show you that the aircraft does have docile capabilities. As he makes his left turn to come across the field again, he left to right. He wants to complete a beautiful slow roll. Imagine sitting on your porch over there and say, Martha, what the devil is that? Here we go, slow roll. Dennis Brooks starting the controls of the SR-71. You like rolls? Let's do it again, only this time 4-point rolls. Left to right. Pointing your nose over the runway threshold, picking the nose up and go flying side for number 1. Number 2, on the other side, like that. Number 3, and back to level flight for number 4. Dennis is feeling good today. The weather's great. He loves that applause. On the next pass, he is going to roll the aircraft to the inverted position and pass left to right. Inverted. Beating up a lot of sky and really testing his vision. Pointing it over the threshold and now rolling to the inverted position, left to right. And back to level flight and making the turn. Coming back around, you may ask the question, will it climb? Just watch. Pointing the nose down, picking up his airspeed. About center stage. Now we're not going to go to the 40,000 plus altitude that this aircraft has exceeded a number of times. At least not today. For your huge pleasure. It's throttling back.
Back about 3 paces this way.
Gear down. Looking for the threshold. Riding a lot of wind over there, just passing over Hamilton Lake, over the runway threshold, and on the numbers in the white line, Dennis Brooks with the yellow aircraft, SR-71. Coming down part of the S, pulling up. Now, if you can't see this with your video camera, throw the camera away. Look at the size of this aircraft. runways, isn't it, David? 12 O'Clock High and all those good movies flown in England?
Oh, indeed, yes. 12 O'Clock High was one of the better aviation movies. Along with The War Lover and The Dam Busters. Mark Campbell at the controls. Memphis Bell. And the gear has gone up, Sam. We're on a roll.
How's that? Beautiful B-17. Gears down. Memphis Bell coming towards the runway for landing. Landing in England. Bob Campbell. Memphis Bell, B-17 scale model, and look at the video cameras going. Flaps down. Big is beautiful.
Well, we're here with David Troyer.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Oh, not so bad.
I hear you came all the way from England.
Well, sure did. Yeah, a little bit of an exciting journey, yes.
I hear your airplanes, all the airplanes the English team brought, traveled more miles than you guys did.
Well, they certainly did. We arrived at Boston and expecting the air crates to come with us to Miami. But when we arrived at Miami, we realized that some had gone to Detroit, some Atlanta, and they didn't arrive to Palm Beach here until 3 days later.
3 days later?
Yeah.
I guess I was a little bit nervous for those 3 days.
It sure was. You know, we was getting anxious that we wouldn't be able to compete, you know, if they didn't arrive.
Well, what do we have here, Dave?
Oh, this is a quarter-scale Hurricane, which was built for a contest in England, sponsored by a World War II pilot.
I see. And what's it built from?
It's scratch-built. It's an enlarged plan of a kit which I used to help manufacture, but it is actually scratch-built.
What kit did you help manufacture?
I was with DB Models of England for 19 years and made redundant 3 weeks ago.
I see. So what did you build the airplane from? What materials?
Oh, it's mainly conventional construction. That is bowl supply and a little bit of fiberglass around the cowl, but mainly it's conventional with dope, nylon, etc. on the surfaces.
So you even used the real paint that was on the real airplane?
Oh yes, and I'm still getting the same effect. That is the cracking effect which the full-size ones got on the finishing.
What other contests have you entered this airplane in?
One major contest, which was at Duxford in England, which I was fortunate to come equal third.
Third?
Yeah.
Quite impressive with a brand new airplane.
Yes, yeah, it was its test flight the day before the competition, and the competition flight got me third place.
That's quite good. What are you using for power in here?
A King 100, which is a German engine, which is a converted chainsaw motor or industrial motor.
That's on gas and oil or a globe?
Yeah, gas and oil, yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch this airplane fly. And what are you entered in here?
In the expert.
You're in expert?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to watch this airplane fly, and we wish you good luck in the contest.
Well, thank you very much.
And I hope you're enjoying our balmy West Palm Beach weather.
Oh yeah, it took a little bit getting used to with this the heat. You know, as you see, I'm perspiring heavily, and we're getting used to it now. But we can suffer it.
But you don't need the brolly.
Oh yeah, well, shall soon. As soon as I'm finished here, I'm going under shade.
Oh, that's what you use the brolly for here, not for protecting from the rain.
That's right.
Well, good luck, and
Thank you very much.
We hope to see you at more Top Guns.
Yeah, I would love to be invited again, if we can afford it. we was lucky this time, but whether we can afford it next time, I don't know.
Well, thank you very much, Dave.
Okay, thanking you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the British brought along their humor, as you can see here. After landing, his throttle wouldn't come back past a quarter, so out they went after their airplane, and he got it. Give him a hand. Well, here's Bill Harris. Bill is flying a Violet F-86. It's done up in beautiful colors. It's done up in the Royal Canadian Air Force show team colors here of the Golden Hawks. And he's airborne. Way to go there, Bill. Well, we're here with Mel Whitley. Mel Whitley, we've seen at many contests. He's been campaigning this beautiful Sea Fury. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Mel?
Well, we've had this plane at several of the bigger events, and it's an 80.5-inch wingspan model, about 26 pounds, with a 300 OS twin in it. It's scratch built. We've used some map drawing documentation on it, and it's about the third one I've built of it. And seems to be a good flying plane, so I keep on building it. But it's done pretty well for us. So it flies with quite a bit of authority, and I don't know how well we'll do here with it, but we're going to try.
I understand you have plans and cowl and canopy and other accessories available for this airplane.
Yeah, we've had a lot of requests for those, and I've sold quite a few of them. It's handled by Scale Plans Research in the Carolinas, as well as myself, and I don't know, we probably have 60 sets out on it now, with people building it from the West Coast to the East Coast. So it's one of the only ones that's 80-inch wing, and that people seem to like that, although the others on the market are very nice too.
Well, the 80-inch wing makes it IMAA legal too.
Yeah, it's right on the wire in IMAA, and it's easy to carry that way.
How did you place last year in the Masters with this airplane?
Well, we only placed 6th in the Nationals. We placed, actually our record with this last year was 2nd at Tangerine, 1st in King Orange, 6th at the Nationals, and 8th in the Scale Masters with it.
Well, that's pretty impressive, and now you're hoping to get the big #1 here.
Well, I don't know about the #1, but I hope to be up in the upper, 3/4, somewhere in there at least. We'll see how it goes. But we will have a pretty stiff crosswind here, and so while it does handle fairly well in the crosswind, that can play tricks on you. And of course, you got to have that good static score, and there's so many nice planes here that it's very hard to know where you'll come out in this.
That's true. By the way, what's the finish you have on this airplane?
We have K&B epoxy finish. It's 3 coats of K&B clear, then the after glassing, and then the 0.6 ounce glass, and the 3 coats of K&B clear. Then we have auto body primer, and then 2 coats of K&B color on everything.
What's she weigh in at?
It weighs in at 26 pounds. Of course, unfortunately, it's got 2 pounds of that is weight in the nose. So it takes that to put the CG right with this particular engine we got, and so it's got to fly right, but it has the ability to carry that weight, and both in power and glide ratio on landing, so it does quite nice there.
Well, we hope to catch you later while you're flying, and good luck in the contest.
Okay, we appreciate that, and we'll see you around.
Thank you.
This is a British Royal Navy aircraft of the Korean War period. Those are Korean War markings, not D-Day stripes. They look like D-Day stripes, but in fact this was the Korean War. The Hawker Sea Fury was a final product from the line that began with the Hurricane. There's Brian O'Meara's touchdown, very nice. Another successful mission for Brian, and another good day of flying. Thing to look forward to tomorrow. No, I saved this until Brian landed, but at the banquet last year, which the Top Gun pilots will have again tonight, Brian was awarded. So he now has the nickname of Funds O'Meara. That's right. We understand that the ladies last year were given the job of the announcer's booth. And here comes Mel Whitley on his low flyby. I guess it's a touchdown. Yes, it is its half flight. Nice touchdown too on the Sea Fury. Meanwhile, here is this Tiger Moth doing its slow flyby. Is that airplane quiet, folks, or what? Brian's on the wing and you have a blue car. You've got it blocked in. You'd like to get those cars moved. So those... Meanwhile, Mr. Whitley brings back his really pretty Sea Fury
Meanwhile, we have a Focke-Wulf 190D9 starting up on the flight line. And the father and son Moroni team getting ready with their P-51 coming in. Taxiing out on left end of the runway is the P-51D, built by Mr. Moroni the elder and flown by Mr. Moroni the younger. Meanwhile, we've got a Tiger Moth on touchdown. There's a nice touchdown for that one. Let's get him on the runway. This P-51 safely airborne. Father and son team, the Moronis, flying this P-51D Mustang.
And Charlie hails from Massachusetts. What are you, an ice cream fan?
Well, yeah, I like ice cream at shows right here, you know.
Good old homemade.
Good old homemade stuff, yes, sir.
Well, that is the capital of that is the ice cream state.
Well, it's also cold in the winter, too.
But they eat ice cream in the winter there, too.
Absolutely. Couldn't every night while watching television.
Charlie, I hear a rumor that you don't know how to fly or build anything else but a Wacko.
That is absolutely correct. It has to have two wings and a round engine and be color red, and it's then considered an airplane.
That's a standard comment from many Wacko builders. What do you have here, Charlie?
This is a 1941 Wacko model VKS-7F. The airplane is equipped with flaps. That's the F in the model designation. It also sports retractable landing lights, blinking anti-collision beacon, and operating position lights.
It's certainly detailed beautifully. How's it? What was it built from?
The airplane is scratch-built from my own plans and patterns, and it takes me about 2,000 hours to develop one of these airplanes.
Standard balsa wood and stick construction?
It's made from balsa and ply and fiberglass and metal, yes.
What did you cover the airplane in?
It's covered with SIG Coverite and uses a mixture of SIG dopes and DuPont automotive acrylic lacquers.
Certainly a beautiful finish, and I see you've even got your rib stitching in there.
Yes, we have rib stitching, and we have missing paint on the back end of the airplane. Everything on this airplane is handmade. The lighting system comes from equipment I buy at Radio Shack. I bought the engine, the radio, and the wheels, and the rest of it is all handmade.
What contests have you had this airplane in before?
This particular airplane is flown in 89 and 90 Top Guns. It's flown in the 89 and 90 Scale Masters. Yeah, I believe that's the major ones.
How have you fared so far with it?
I've placed 13th the last two Masters with it, and 7th in the first Top Gun, and 6th in last year's Top Gun.
That's quite impressive.
I'm happy.
So how are we going to do this year?
If I get one flight, I definitely will not be last.
Well, that's great. Anyways, we wish you the best luck. How are you enjoying our Florida weather?
I'm wonderful, absolutely wonderful. It was 43 degrees in Massachusetts when I left on Sunday.
My poor aunt, she just went back there.
Well, she's going to be cool.
After a winter down here in Florida. Well, good luck in the contest, and we hope to catch you later flying.
And thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, Charles.
Mr. Wacko from Massachusetts about to back out with this. Plane windy, as it does have a landing light that retracts once it's turned off. But you're with models in general, that's not too bad. They do fly on the last.
Well, we're here with the famous Putty Cat again, Terry Nitsch, here at Top Gun. How are you faring out, Terry?
Well, it's been real tough. I felt I've been flying well. So far, we're in second place, so about 2 points out of first. Mel Whitley's leading with a Sea Fury, and he's a real tough competitor, so it's going to take some dynamite flights on my behalf today to get back in the thing as far as the first place goes.
Well, anywhere in the top 10 here, with the heavy metal they got here, is really doing fantastic. So to be in second place, you're doing well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm tickled to death with how we're doing so far, and hope to continue that way.
Well, your airplane is certainly detailed well. How many rivets are there on it?
Approximately 30,000.
So you win the contest for the most rivets on any of the F-86s, I take it.
Yeah, if there was an award for that, I probably would.
I see. Have you won any other awards since we saw you last?
No, this is last time we talked, we were in Jets Over DeLand, and then this is the next event this airplane's been to.
And you're quite pleased with it. I see you're flying it well.
Yeah, I'm real pleased. Everything's working real well. Radio's working good, engine's running good. I'm real happy.
How are you enjoying it here this year?
Oh, loving it. This is beautiful facility, beautiful event. Hats off to Frank Tiano. He does a heck of a job and really puts on a class act here.
Well, I know you're in your own element here, flying off of grass, but you've flown this off pavement and grass. Which do you find easier?
Well, pavement's obviously easier because of the smoothness and also the reduced takeoff rolls and that kind of thing. But being from Ohio, we only have grass fields, and I'm real comfortable here.
So you've got a little advantage over the rest of them.
I think so, yeah.
How do you find this field?
Oh, this field's beautiful. It's spacious, very nice. There's an excellent grandstands for the spectators. It's real nice for this event.
I see. So where do we go from here? Where's the next contest you're going to be in?
I'm not sure. The Mint Julep in Kentucky is next week. I may go to that. If not, I'm going to hit a scale contest around the Ohio area, try to get qualified for the Masters.
So now you intend to hit the Masters this year?
If I can get qualified, yes.
I don't think there'll be a problem there.
I hope not.
What's this about your own fan fly you're running this year?
Yes, we're having a fan fly August 24th and 25th in Columbus, and it's called the Heart of Ohio Jet Scramble. And we got a lot of good sponsors in the hobby and out of the hobby, a lot of good awards, a lot of good things planned. It ought to be a real fun event.
Is that a JPO event?
Yes, it is.
In other words, there'll be the speed traps and everything that goes along with the JPO event.
Absolutely. We have like 10 Pilot's Choice Awards and the speed competition.
If a spectator is interested in going, who do they contact?
They contact myself or Bill Midgley.
Do you have the phone number?
Yeah, I'll give you my phone number. I have it memorized. Area code 614-870-1415. That's in Columbus, Ohio.
And that's this August?
This August 24th and 25th.
1991.
1991.
Well, thank you very much, Terry, and good luck. Hope you can get those few extra points for number 1.
Thank you. We're going to certainly try.
Also flying up in the same time as Terry is Wacko biplane, the YMF-3. This is, I believe, also a team entry here, Sam. That's his father casting out the 80 version of the CC-49. The brand new drawings that have been made available by Nick, which is what he does for a living, and Bill Steffes, the builder, standing next to him, constructed number 1 off the blueprints, and it's in the air today. Not only that, Sam, but last night at the banquet, the run for themselves. This is all over Europe.
Italy, and a Corsair. Both of those are completed, ready to fly, and are for sale by the pilot owners. You're sitting in the stand and get into bug, and you don't want to take the time to build one. Here are two beautiful aircraft ready to go. There's Charlie Nelson with the red Waco cabin biplane. Charlie likes to call himself Mr. Waco because he favors Waco airplanes and doesn't build anything else. There he is, landing his F-86F. Fix any teeth, but he does have a pair of pliers in his toolbox. That's right. As a matter of fact, Dr. Bill McCauley was also won a very nice prize last night at the bank. Won a prize that was voted on by the ladies for the top marvelous award. Okay, out on the runway, the F-86F spooling up is being driven by our only female contestant who started flying at age 14, Patty Violet. This is a team entry with Paul Schlussler. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Schuschler. This is Patty's first Top Gun team scale in with the builder, Paul Schuschler. Husband sitting here with your wives watching, get your Visa card ready. That's right, Sam. If any of you folks out there would like to... Of course, you realize that that's going to have to be done gradually. This is not something you can do all in one day or 1 week or indeed 1 year, but you can get there eventually. Answer, if you're new to the hobby, it's also a great opportunity to purchase those raffle tickets that will help fund the Wellington High School athletic department. They actually ran out of budget last year. They didn't have enough funds to accommodate their outside events and have car washes and what have you. So I'd like to encourage you to help the Wellington High School athletic department out the raffle tickets, radio control aircraft, radio and a photo. This gentleman is from Brazil. We know where it's from Brazil. Yes, let's give you his name is Eduardo Estevez. He's flying over here in the sky. An entry also from France. We noticed the French key now on the flight line in ready go. Bill Snodgrass. Midweek special. Law, actually there is no law at all, it's just a natural consequence as we watch. Is P-40, another successful mission. There's something of a unwritten law that makes tend to fly higher, and this of course guarantees everybody's safety. Next online will be Bob Underwood, who's flying a Ilyushin IL-2 Stormovic. This is a Russian tank battery from World War II. From Virginia. That's right, Sam, and he works for the Academy of Model Aeronautics, which is the governing body of our sport. Bob is a hardware and technical director, the one who gets stuck with all the long-term questions about what are the rules of this and what are the rules of that. Hartford. Familiar sight on the scale scene for many, many years, and all of the contestants know her very well. Nice prize for a trivia question. Meanwhile, Sam, you want to describe the
It's Bob Ferenzi. How are you doing, Bob?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Great. I see you've got your F-18 here.
Yeah, we hope it's ready to go. I did a lot of work on it, and new engines, new radio, brakes, tires, few changes, but it's basically the same airplane.
Well, you've won this event once. We're going to take it again this year?
Well, it's hard to win it the first time. I don't know about that. I'd like to, but it's hard. As usual, I'll be happy with top 10 and come home in one piece.
Can we talk a bit about this airplane?
Yeah, this is the Yellow Aircraft kit. Well, this was a prototype, but they have the kit now. And it's about 110 inches long. It's 74-inch wingspan. It weighs about 27 pounds. This now has two OS91s with Dynamax fans and bar violet quiet pipes. It has a 9-channel Futaba 1024 PCM. The yellow brakes. And it's acrylic lacquer paint.
And the retracts on this airplane?
They're from Yellow. The struts are highly detailed. A lot of people have bought the kit. It doesn't come with that amount of detail, but basically that's what you're getting, and you have to detail it out just a little bit.
I see. So basically, this kit is available from Yellow, and
yes, it's available through my hobby shop or any of the distributors around the country.
And that's Ferenzi Hobbies in Winter Springs.
That's my hobby shop, right?
Bob, tell me something. What's the with the retract situation on this airplane? They can buy the retracts the way they are?
Yeah, you could buy the retracts are basically 80 to 90% what you see here, other than some of the detail and hydraulic lines and some of the drag links. But you do get the complete landing gear that it does function and it does telescopic and things like that there. That all comes with it.
I see.
By the way, it's not plastic. That is aluminum landing gear.
Okay, and what to get a kit ready to build into this stage, what kind of money are they looking at?
Probably all depends on the engine option and the radio option. Probably somewhere between $25,000 and $3,000. That's with the radio and everything.
Well, that's not too bad for a true scale airplane.
No, it's not too bad.
Okay, well, we hope you do well in the event, and we hope to catch you flying later.
Thank you,
Bob.
Thank you very much.
Demonstration Hornet, used when the aircraft was being campaigned to the various military agencies.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're standing down by the brown board on the field, you'll get a much better view if you come back into the grandstands. You'll be able to look down on the aircraft. You won't have your view obstructed. It'll be a lot easier to take photographs from, even though you are back a few feet.
Another airplane flying in front of you right now, the one just curling away in a left-hand bank at the right-hand end of the field, is Ilyushin IL-2, brought here from Washington, D.C. by Bob Underwood. Bob Underwood is an employee of the Academy of Modern Airplanes. Has represented the United States on some international... Third model that you're seeing flying in front of you, in addition to the F-18 Hornet and the Ilyushin IL-2 Joe, California. By the way, this model that he is flying is a model of the only Flying Zero. Taxiing out in Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Maryland, Kentucky, the home of the upcoming Derby, and New York. countries that are represented are Great Britain, of course, and the UK. Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Bob Frenzy up there burning up the sky with that beautiful aircraft. On landing news will break, and if you get a chance to get up close to the photograph, it'll pay particular notice to the scale landing gear.
Well, can you hold the port down for me? I've got to get back to work. Sure. No problem. I think you and Fred are the guys that have it under control here. Yeah. No, who is this? And Frank's going to point out where he wants the board. That'll be the play back here watching. Are you coming out tomorrow? To the sky.
I'll probably come out a little later.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you know where you need a hand?
Twin-ducted fans sucking and pushing, and we finally refer to them occasionally as flying vacuum cleaners, but that precisely is the theory. The air into the front scale inlets pushed out the twin-tail tailpipes is the means of propulsion. Get a chance to get up close to the aircraft, look into the fan blades that do the pushing. Player at this event this year of the 1990 event in Arizona, Ron Gilman, flying a Volvo F-86, which is brought back again this year.
Rich Irvich and young Nick Zeroli, they have some interesting news for us. They're entered here with a new Texan, and they're going to tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, we've entered as a team this year in Top Gun for a number of reasons. Predominantly, Nick Jr. is a much better flyer than I am, but the real reason is we've just formed a new company for the hobby industry called Leading Edge Models, and we will be focusing on semi-scale, sport scale jet kits, which we're in the process of introducing 3 new items, and fiberglass fuselages and semi-kits for airplanes like our T6 here. And Nick, you may have something to add. Got into this.
Right, well, I've known Rich for a long time now, and we always needed somebody to handle all the press and advertising, and between the two of us, our capabilities, I think we can do a pretty good job with it. And I'm real excited about flying in a Top Gun this year for the first time, and hopefully we should do pretty good with the airplane.
Oh, we're going to do great with the airplane.
So what other kits have you two come up with? I understand that you have some exciting news for the ducted fan people.
Yeah, we hope so. About a year and a half ago, Nick Jr. and I got together and we procured all of the former Sterner Engineering jets, which consist of the T-33, the F-80 Shooting Star, and the A-7 Corsair II. And just kind of as a design exercise, we got into them and looked what was out there in the market, and over the period of time, we've re-engineered them to take the current 5-inch fans and redesigned and kind of contemporized the kits more than anything, and we're real optimistic on them. The airplane has been out there for a while in Kerry's or Sterner Engineering's form, and it's proven itself as a good flyer. And in fact, I think you've got a close friend down in Florida here that has been flying one very successfully, and we'd certainly like to contact him about perhaps trying one of our revised versions, and we're real excited about getting them back out there to the modelers, because they're not rocket ships. They in fact are 120 mile an hour airplanes, but the average sport modeler can fly them and build them, and I think that's really what we need in ducted fans to accelerate the growth.
I see. And the other exciting news is this Texan fuselage is going to be back on the market with the Zeroli plans. Is that true?
Absolutely. We plan on producing. I got into this connection for another reason that I haven't really disclosed, and that's really because Nick Zeroli Sr., Nick's dad, is probably one of the most prolific designers today in the industry. What we plan to do, as we've done with this Texan and Nick Zeroli's Corsair, is hopefully produce and make available fiberglass fuselages and semi-kits for all of the Zeroli designs, including Billy Steffes' D-18, which has been very successful here this year at Top Gun.
I see, and well, we know that I've seen Nick's fuselages before, the fiberglass ones, and I know he's a man for perfection, and demands perfection in his glass work, and I guess that's what you're working on, is getting it as perfect as possible.
Yeah, that's essentially it, Barry. You might comment on that, Nick, about the quality control we try to build into these things now.
Yeah, we always try to make everything up to standard. We don't want to let anything go out before it's engineered properly and is up to date with the standards that are in the marketplace right now.
And the Boy Scouts.
Nick, something about yourself. I understand, the rumor is that you were born with a transmitter in your hand. Is that true?
Well, I've been flying since I've been about 8 years old, and pretty steadily. Haven't really gave it up at all, even though I've been working a lot, married, children, still flying, still enjoying it.
Gotta keep up the Zeroli name. Well, listen, gentlemen, good luck in the contest. I hope you do well. I noticed there's a Beech 18 in team scale as well, flown by Nick Sr., so there's two generations of Zerolis flying in this event, which is something.
Well, as Nick Jr. just commented, we came down here with the intention of turning this into a family feud, and that seems to be it's working now.
Oh, we got a family feud here.
We got Nick Sr. against Nick Jr., and the airplanes static very closely to one another within a point or two, and at this point it becomes a flying event, and it's the Z-Men, as I call them, and we'll see what happens when it's all over.
Well, good luck, and wish you the best in the event.
Well, thank you very much.
And good luck in your business venture.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see more.
A1H Skyraider. The smoke on. The mixture injected into the manifold to create that effect, and it's quite effective. The AgCat doing its prop dusting for you. Getting rid of some of the Florida insects on the runway for us.
We're going to have to ask everybody to step back at least 10 to 15 feet. You got to move back past some chairs back there now.
By the way, the big SNJ in the air is an SNJ-5C. Very detailed interior. This is a good aircraft for you to get up close to later today and get some photographs of it. By the way, the two video companies here from the line passage are small airliner. Of hours like that, and then gradually subside. The Zeroli team scale landing their SNJ-5C.
Mike Kuzak from Texas had this very unusual ducted fan model at the contest. It's a Supermarine Attacker, which was the only only jet that had a tail wheel ever manufactured.
Ah, puis il a un démarreur celui-là. Oui. Est-ce que t'as pas de problème aérodynamique et d'échelle? S'il est pas trop chargé.
Okay.
Well, we're here with Corwin Miller. Corwin, you usually see him with a bent wing warbird called the Corsair. He's come up with something beautiful this year with a straight wing. Corwin, can you tell us a little bit about it and how you got the bend out of the wing?
I put it in a vise. A large vise does it real well.
Yeah. Well, what do we have here, Corwin?
And it OS 160 Gemini twin. Flies at about scale.
How's this compared to your Corsair?
It flies one heck of a lot easier. That Corsair is a handful. This is really a groovy airplane.
About this airplane?
How, you mean what made me decide to build it? It's a civilian airplane, and I wanted to build a civilian airplane, but I wanted to build one that was fully acrobatic, and the Swift is fully acrobatic. I can do anything with it. It flies a lot like a military airplane. It's really a super flying airplane. It's groovy, you know. Did you see it fly?
No, we haven't caught it flying yet, but we will when you're flying in the contest.
Okay. It does a beautiful 4-point roll. Unbelievable. A lot easier with this airplane than what it is with the Corsair.
We just filmed and noticed the interior decor you did in this airplane. How detailed you got the interior and the instrument panel, and even the pilot, Ed Hibner. Where's this the real airplane based?
Okay, the real airplane is in Venice, Florida. All right, it's owned by Ed Hibner naturally, and he's an architect. And when I first told him I saw his plane down at the Venice airport, and I decided that's the one I wanted to copy. And I talked to him about it, found out who owned it, and I talked to him about it, and he didn't seem too excited at first. But then he seen it through the stages of construction, and when he saw it in the finished product, he about had a fit. When he was there, when I flew it, he had brought his whole family out there, and I'm telling you what, he was dancing around. He was really excited about it, and he's been really a great help to me, you know. He sent me all the documentation that I've needed for the color. He sent me all the documentation for all the changes that he made on the airplane. He even made me copies of his certificates on the changes. So I got all that paperwork, copies of all that paperwork. It's really been a big help.
I see you've done a lot of. How about the paint? What did you use for paint on this?
Same as he did. I used the. It's a Detzler's. It's a polyurethane paint. It's an aircraft paint, and it's the same exact. He gave me the paint numbers, and I went down and I had him mix it, and it's all computer matched, so it's exact colors.
Well, you really outdid yourself with this airplane, including the retracts. I noticed they're true scale as well.
Oh yes, they are. They sure are. I used Robin Air is the main body, okay, and then I machined everything else. And then I decided instead of using air, I went to sail winch, Aerotronic sail winch servos to activate them.
Yes.
And they work magnificently. They really work scale. Mel Whitley talked me into using those sail winch, and man, that's all he uses.
Yeah, we see that on the Sea Fury.
Right, and I'll tell you what, they are magnificent.
Well, that's great, Corwin. So we're going to be looking forward to catching you flying. And good. Have you been static judged yet?
Oh yes, I was a static judge this morning.
And I imagine the score's pretty.
I just put in a flight, just to check out the field and things. And it's, you know.
So you feel comfortable?
Oh yeah, I'm comfortable.
Great. I know you said something else about it. You said that this one's easy to fly compared to the Corsair.
Yeah, it's a funny thing though. You know, it handles crosswinds a lot harder than my Corsair does, believe it or not. It does not like crosswinds, but again, you know,
You were complaining a bit about the Corsair in competition, how tough it was to fly, and. But every time we saw you fly it, you were doing well.
Well, in the air, it's real good. Takeoffs and landings are just a bear with that airplane.
Well, the last time we caught you flying it was at another contest, and you came in first, I believe.
Where?
At the Condors.
Oh, yeah. I came in first. Matter of fact, I came first overall with that thing.
Well, that's a good way to retire that bird.
Yeah. Well, I'm not retiring it. I'm just giving it a little rest.
Well, good luck with the new one.
Okay.
And you did a fantastic job.
Thank you, sir.
Take your transmitter back to the impound area. We have a pilot ready to fly on that frequency. Tim Schoonard.
while back on the flight line, we're looking to take off the globe swift. The first metal machine is over in Tampa, and this model is Ken Winter. Is it Ken Winter? I'm going to build a nice regular control model of that. That's exactly what he did. Globe Swift, of course, is actually quite an old design. It came out in 1947 landing gears, but the Globe Swift did. Well, this one does anyway. This is actually a very pretty little airplane, especially when seen close up. Interested in the finish on the B-51, it's rather unique. It's finished with Presto chrome and aluminum duct tape. And the pilot of the B-51 has told us that his father actually flew the B-51D in World War II. And this is their first time at the Top Gun Invitational. A lot of people don't know that
We got flying it. We got Corwin Miller up there, flying his pants off.
That original airplane is located in Venice, Florida, and it's in 4 colors. It's in basic white, then it has a deep metallic blue, and silver stripe on the side, gold pinstripe.
And there's that 4-point roll he was talking about how well he does.
Ray Chardella from California and Michael Richardson, team scale entry from Washington.
Yeah, but there's one thing unusual about Corwin. He's flying a straight wing airplane. Where's the bent wing?
Very attractive color scheme. Ray Chardella. Corwin Miller. His first civilian plane that he built by the way,
Another familiar face here in Florida. Hails from Pensacola, is it?
Well, I live close to Pensacola, but actually I live in Alabama in a little town called Alberta, which is 20 miles west of Pensacola.
Alberta? Bob, this is Bob Hanf here. Alberta?
Alberta, E-L-B.
Oh, not Alberta.
No, not Alberta, because that's up in the northern part of the state.
No, that northern part of the state. That's up in northern. That's like Canada.
Well,
that's where it gets cold.
No, that's another Alberta,
Yeah.
but this is Alberta, Alabama.
Bob, we usually see you with this Newport 28. Now you came up with something really unusual and beautiful.
Well, I've hooked up with my pal Glenn Torrance here, and we're in the process of producing 3 kits, and I just felt obligated to build this lovely DR1 since we were coming to this ambiance of this polo field and all to fly off the grass, and I just thought that the DR1 would be the machine to show at this kind of a meet, and hopefully somewhere with this particular airplane. It's a high bonus airplane having 3 wings, and I figure that the Newport was a 15% bonus airplane. This airplane being a 3-winger will allow me 5% more, so that additional 5% might be enough to do it one more time for me.
That's FAI scale.
FAI, yes. Where the only restriction is the airplane has to weigh no more than 7 kilograms, which equates to 15 pounds 7 ounces.
I see. I noticed in your flying, while you were flying this bird, the real one used to nose over on landings, but you've been managing to keep that from happening.
Well, I let them see that every now and then just to make sure that they know how the real one flew. I managed to do it on my last flight if you didn't catch it, but I try and avoid that, but I know if people are expecting that to happen, and I didn't want to disappoint them, so I did it.
Well, you've been doing a beautiful job of flying. Your low passes have been excellent. And,
well, thank you. With my other Fokkers, I said they were flown by Ernst Udet, and when he made that kind of landing, I always said he had too much snops the night before. So I don't know. I haven't learned a routine yet for an excuse for this guy. His name is Joseph Jacobs.
Joseph Jacobs?
Joseph Jacobs was the one that made the all-black Fokker famous. During World War I, he was supposedly the only known pilot with an all-black airplane, and supposedly he had 3 of them at his disposal. He was the CO of Josta 7, and his credits were that he was the 8th leading ace for the Krauts, having 47 victories to his credit in this particular airplane. It was a real killer machine, as you well know, with Baron von Richthofen, you know, and his brother really getting a bunch of Allied victories with this type of machine.
Well, you mentioned something about having it kitted. We have, or it's being kitted by Glenn Torrance.
Yes.
Well, we have Glenn Torrance here. Can he talk a bit about
the
kit?
I wish you'd get him to tell you all the details of it, because it's an exciting adventure that we're getting into.
Okay, Glenn, you want to talk about the kit?
Sure. What we plan to do is hopefully have the kit available in the fall. It's going to have 200 to 300 parts, and this is a quarter-scale DR1, and we are trying to reproduce it as close as possible. A lot of the construction will be wood and some aluminum and brass fittings. And right now, this is the only prototype we have, and we plan to have a complete line of the War I kits, this being the first.
I see. I see, Glenn. You said 3 others. What are the other 2, or have you not thought them out yet?
Well, the next 2 we planned will be the D8 will be after this, which is a good fit for this. And then after that will be the Sopwith triplane.
So you're going to stick with triplanes, and of course your test pilot is going to be none other but the man who's made World War I scale airplanes notorious. Absolutely. Bob, here. Well, thank you very much. How are you doing in the contest so far?
Well, I haven't really added up the scores. I had a respectable static, and I was hoping to put together a couple of decent flights. I don't know. If I finish in the top 10, I figure it'll be a feather in my hat, but we'll have to see what happens on the last flight.
Well, you're certainly flying with a handicap with a crosswind.
Seems to be the rule of thumb at these contests. I was hopeful that everything would be ideal, but you know, when you come to these things, you got to let the chips fall where they may, and you don't always get what you want, so you have to, you know, roll with the punches, so to speak.
You're doing a remarkable job flying it in these conditions. I mean, you've got a 15-mile-an-hour crosswind that you're handling here.
Well, you're very kind to say that. I try and do the best I can. It certainly keeps you on your toes at all times. You can't relax, you know, with that sort of wind condition. But it's fun to watch the crowd gasp and moan, you know, when your airplane's tooling around the air.
That's good. Well, we wish you good luck.
Well, thank you.
And thank you very much.
You're very kind to interview us.
Yeah. And thank you, Glenn, and good luck in your venture.
Sure. Always good to see you at the contest.
Thank you. Well, I guess we'll see you.
Good work.
I guess we'll see you at King Orange next, huh, Bob?
I hope so. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Reverting back to the Dragon Rapide that's about to taxi out. Taxiing out on center stage is the Fokker triplane from Bob Hack of Pensacola, Florida, about to make a takeoff with his World War I Fokker triplane. We usually see these in red because of the arrow on red triplane, but Bob has elected to be a little different and do his in black. Very tricky little aeroplane to fly with this kind of a wind condition. It was tricky even in real life, wasn't it? Indeed it was, and it has been said that at least 40% of the landings that were made, the airplane ended up on its nose. This is Bob Hack, who, as I mentioned before, has flown for Uncle Sam on the International RC Scale team. He's being assisted by his wife. Bob and his wife go all over the world to fly these things. Another case of not too much money to play with.
Take the fly path now. Royal Air Force
got a hold of them. Now, one of the more difficult things in model building, well, for the scale model builder, is to copy carefully a decrepit, here's his bomb drop, far into the field, and it sticks perfectly in the vertical position. Chuck Fuller on the left to right, inverted flyby with smoke on in the Russian Sukhoi. And Dick, Rob Hatcher's made his landing in the inverted flyby. He even managed to keep the nose away from the ground, and that by itself is worth a good round of applause. He most often landed with the nose on the ground. Exactly right. Notice the light on the flyby. This aircraft is unbelievable. Another aircraft that's really worth getting up close to. Yes, it is, Sam. As I was saying before, it's one thing for a model builder to duplicate an aircraft that's all bright and shiny, and that's a skill by itself. It's entirely another skill to copy an aircraft that is where the full-scale aircraft is in poor condition. And you're trying to make a model of an airplane that is in poor condition, but not make it look like a poorly built model. That is a definite skill. Chuck Fuller's pilot checking the white line on the runway. Low inverted pass. We roll out to level 20. So that's good news all around. Great. It's excellent news. Bill Harris taxiing out. This one's rather unique. It's an F-86 Mark VI Canadair Sabre. And Terry, the de Havilland Dragonbird is making a beautiful cross runway landing.
Hamilton. And Garland used to fly Marine and Navy aircraft. He's now switched to the Air Force. What do we have here, Garland?
Now, this is a Bob Violet F-86F, flown in Hahn, Germany in 1955.
I see. And what kit is this built from?
It's a Bob Violet models.
What do you have for power?
I have a KBV 82.
And a Violet fan?
Violet fan.
How do we come about this color scheme?
Well, everybody's making the silver aircraft, and I've always liked aircraft that looked different than everybody else. So I found a squadron that did have a camouflage aircraft, and got the documentation from the Air Force Museum, and they sent me some pictures of the aircraft.
And how did you finish the airplane?
The aircraft is finished with 6-ounce glass cloth, and the paint is a automotive ditch lacquer, which has been specifically matched to the FSN numbers, and then spray painted over. And I used the clear
Ditzler or DuPont?
It's the Ditzler that Bob uses. I forgot the name of it now. It's been a while since I painted it.
Yeah. It was a beautiful finish. Have you entered this in any other events?
And this is my first one.
And I see you've been static judged already. Any idea of how you did?
No, not as yet. I say I built the plane, and I've been out of the country for about 8 months, got back, so I got back to fly the thing.
Oh, how does she perform?
Very nice.
So you're quite pleased with your entry this year?
Oh, yes. I'm really, the F-86 is, I really didn't want the 86. I wanted the F-16, the hot dog aircraft. But Bob talked to me, go ahead and try it, which I did, and I'm glad I did. The plane flies itself. It's an outstanding low and high-speed aircraft. It just tracks very well in the air.
Well, it's certainly, this particular kit has certainly performed well in other contests, and hopefully you'll do well this year.
Yeah, the aircraft talks for itself. You know, you just put the pilot behind it. In fact, to follow the plane through, basically.
That's exactly what Bob says about it. You know, we had an interview with him a while ago on one of our other tapes, and he just raves about the F-86.
Oh, it's a beautiful, it's very forgiving. I mean, it could be used as a trainer.
Oh, that's good. So anyways, you'll be flying this Saturday and Sunday for the flying scores, and hopefully you'll do well.
Advanced intelligence. So we're real glad to have him back on his rollout with his F-86F. By the way, Garland had a misfortune yesterday. He thought his aircraft had pontoons on it and decided to land it in the lake. Ran out of fuel. We now call it very proficient flyer. I must tell you, this aircraft, at the end of the day yesterday, was in several pieces. We went back to one of the flyer shops and worked very diligently to put this aircraft back together. As you can see, it's back together in fine fashion. Garland Brother Thomas Pilot, we're real glad to have him here at the event.
As a matter of fact, Garland Hamilton was not the only recipient of some local modeler largesse. Another local modeler, Tom Rosenstock, troublesome muffler, and David Toyer from England and Norm were up until 12:30 getting that rascal fixed. Model shops that are closed suddenly become open. Workshops that are in town become open. And all doors open to a contestant in trouble.
This particular plane was top gun last year.
Hamilton on a slow flyby. The sky.
Well, we're here with Don Smith from Boca Raton. You might have seen his ads in the various scale magazines advertising plans. Don, can you tell us a bit about your entry here?
Yeah, this is a German World War II single-seat fighter, twin-engine, and it's a Henschel 129B. It was used extensively in the early part of the war and actually throughout the war. Basically, it had its reputation as a tank buster because of the cannons in the nose. There's two cannons on each side of the nose.
I see. And you're entered in team scale in Top Gun here.
Yes, yeah. I'm the builder of the model, and Frank Tiano is the pilot.
And so you got nothing out of Mr. Top Gun himself, Frank Tiano, flying it.
Yes, we do.
How are you doing with your plan services?
The plan service is going very well. We have a couple of new twins out, this being one of them, also the Messerschmitt 110. And we just finished a single-seat Russian fighter called the Lavochkin LA-7.
That's an unusual one. We don't see very many models of that around.
No, you don't, no. And I kind of tend toward the unusual airplanes.
What other ones do you have?
We have the Hawker Sea Fury and the Nakajima Ki-84 Frank.
That's the one that Frank Tiano's was taken off of, I take it.
Right, that is the one. And we have a smaller AT-6 at 1/5 scale, an 84-inch airplane.
That's a nice airplane. So all these plans are available through you. How do they get a hold of you, Don?
They get a hold of me by going to the magazines and finding my ad, and all the prices and all the specs on the plans are available right there.
Is there a number for them to call into?
Yeah, my number is 407-395-9523.
And I'm sure you'll be willing to talk to them about your beautiful plans that you have for your different warbirds.
Oh, yes, yeah. I talk to people every day about my airplanes.
You have a biplane also.
Yes, I have a biplane, a Hinkle 51A, which is a 90-inch, very large biplane, which is a very good flying airplane. A lot of people have built it.
Well, you were in Top Gun last year with Frank, with a Sea Fury, I believe, were you?
Sea Fury, yes, yeah.
How did you do last year?
We took 3rd place in team scale.
Well, that's quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that the competition has ended and the dust has settled, it's time to give away the heavy metal. The first ones up will be team scale. And as you can see, the prizes are beautiful. And the first team scale, 5th place, Rich Irvich and Nick Zeroli. 4th is Dennis Crooks and Mark Frankel with their beautiful Lear. And then the Patty Violet and Paul Schuster flying a Violet F-86. Nick Zeroli Sr. and Bill Steffes for 2nd place. And Tim Foster and Jeff Cones flying a beautiful, beautiful Jenny. 10th and expert is Corbin Miller. And 9th is Bob Ferenzi with his F-18 Hornet. 8th is Bob Violet flying an F-86. 7th, Gene Barton flying a Sky Raider, part of the Sky Raider team from California. 6th place is Wacko Charlie Nelson flying his Red Wacko. 5th place, Charlie Chambers. And 4th is Diego Lopez, also flying a Sky Raider. 3rd place is Ron Gilman, flying a Violet F-86 called Sky Blazer. And 2nd is Terry Nitch, also flying in a Violet F-86. Those
to the big one. And those look like very big numbers, Frank.
Well, for model airplane contest, $2,000.
I think it's extremely nice. What's this big box?
Bob Violet F-86 kit worth $500 or $600.
Transmitter case.
Transmitter case. Several small
prizes. What?
Very nice Top Gun silver lovey shot. Bring that over here, Joe. All together, Joe.
Joe Bannister is assisting us, the president of the Palm Beach Area Club. Bassinet.
Joe Bassinet. Hold on one side. I'll hold on the other.
Are you ready, Frank?
Let's get up here.
$2,000. The aircraft that flew some maneuvers totally different than the contest maneuvers that everybody fell in love with, that David Platt commented on the sound of, was that beautiful Sea Fury. Mel Whitley!
Pay off like this, right now? Right.
Now, how about a few comments?
Right here.
I'll hold the microphone for you.
And then the judges like me green. So, but anyway, to Frank Tiano and the local club and all the airplane meetings, we really appreciate it. And we'll cherish it forever.
Thanks for coming. Do me a favor and congratulations. $9,000 photographers to a shot.
Mel, where are you from?